Going to take you live now to the United States, where President Donald Trump is speaking to supporters in New Hampshire.
90%, 95%. I always tell the story. People come up to me, they say, I want to thank you. My wife thinks I'm a total loser, sir. She thinks I am the worst person with money, with financial. She thinks I'm just horrible in the last 3 years. I'm up 94%, sir. She thinks I'm a total genius when it comes to finance. She loves me again. She didn't love me before, sir. She loves me again. That tells you something about money, doesn't it? That's tough. The first step to victory in November is tomorrow. Go send a message that Republicans, and you can vote for the weakest candidate if you want, don't worry about it. I don't really think we actually have a candidate against us. That Republicans are energized, that we're united, and that 9 months from now, we are going to take back the House of Representatives, we are going to hold the Senate, and we are going to keep the White House. You know, they always talk about the Democrats, they have enthusiasm, right? We have so much more enthusiasm than it's not even close. They're all fighting each other. They're all going after each other. You got them all over the place. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They can't even count their votes. We're thrilled to be joined tonight by many great leaders from across this state and this country. Great national leaders. I want to thank our tremendous Vice President, Mike Pence, who spoke earlier this evening. And also with us are warrior senators, the two people that wanted to be here. They're going to be here tomorrow. They're going to be here to get out the vote. I don't think we have to worry too much about it, but that's okay. And very highly respected. Senators Lindsey Graham and Rand Paul. Great guys. Warriors. They're warriors. Hey, Lindsey and Rand, that's not bad. Can you imagine if you actually came from New Hampshire, what it would be, right? That's not bad. But they have been great. All they do is they looked at everybody for the last couple of months. They said, read the transcripts, please. Read the transcripts. But I want to thank you both very much. Two great people. Two great friends. Man, look at all that television back there. Whoa. That's bigger than those terrible Academy Awards, I gotta tell you. That used to be big, not so much anymore. A friend of mine, another great leader and somebody that's going to be Speaker of the House, hopefully next year. Kevin McCarthy, our leader, Kevin McCarthy. Oh, well, that'd be nice to have Kevin, a pro. You'll see things get done like you never believe. Thank you, Kevin, very much. Great. A very brave man. He took a bullet. He got shot. And he got up. He was going to die that night. I tell the story all the time. His wife, she was crying so much. When he finally did awake, I said, well, one thing I learned, your wife loves you. Why do you say that? Because she was devastated. I know many wives that don't get too upset. His wife was devastated. His family was devastated. The doctor told me he didn't have a good chance, but he's tough as hell, and he's a really terrific friend. He's a winner. He put himself back into shape. He actually looks better now than he did before he got shot. Steve Scalise. lot of guts. Your NRCC chairman, Mr. Tom Emmer, Congressman. Thank you. Tom Emmer. Thank you, Tom. And Representatives Mark Meadows. Did anybody ever hear of Mark Meadows? These are warriors. Matt Gaetz. Matt. Whoa. Not bad, Matt. That's not bad. Mike Johnson, great lawyer. Mike Johnson. Thank you, Mike. And a man with a very familiar last name, Greg Pence, the brother of Mike. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. And thanks also to New Hampshire Senate Republican leader, Chuck Morse. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. And I see somebody, two great people, a great couple in the audience. Matt Schlapp and Mercedes Schlapp. They're warriors also. They're warriors also. And I see next to them two warriors. Corey, you are such a fighter. You are such a fighter. Oh, boy, if we could get him to run for Senate, he would win so easily. Corey Lewandowski. Who loves this state a lot. And Dave Bossy. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Great job. I'm just picking these people out of the audience. We have everybody here. The New Hampshire House Republican leader, Dick Hinch. Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Dick. A man who's been with us right from the beginning. Last time, when I left here last time, I felt so good. Everybody coming up to the room. You're going to win. We win by a lot, right? We had actually a total of 18, and we won. We had a tremendous night, and I've never forgotten it. And there was a friend of ours, chairman of the New Hampshire Republican Party, Steve Stepanek. Steve Stepanek. That was a big evening. And three friends of mine that are co-chairman Al Baldessaro, Fred Duchette, and Lou Gargiulo. Thank you all very much. And David and Corey, thank you also for being here. Also a woman that not too many people know. Very powerful, very smart, very beautiful, even though I'm not allowed to say that because she's my daughter, Ivanka. Come on up, Ivanka. And Jared, who is making deals that are so good for this country. People have no idea what's happening. I will tell you, we are making trade deals and other deals, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Jared Kushner, thank you, Jared. Thank you. And Kimberly, thank you so much. I heard your speech on the plane on the way in. I was very impressed. And did Don Jr. make a good speech? Come.
That is President Donald Trump speaking at a rally in New Hampshire. We know that the primaries there for the Democratic candidates are about to begin this week, and it was a similar move that he went to Des Moines in Iowa during the caucuses there, wanting to overshadow the proceedings with all that focus on all the Democratic candidates. And he really is the looming large figure in this year's US election, not just because he is Donald Trump and the president, but all of the conversation among the Democratic candidates is who is the best candidate to beat Donald Trump, because no one has really emerged as a clear front runner to be able to take him on. What we've seen is Joe Biden being put forward as that really seasoned hand, former vice president, the more middle-of-the-ground candidate, but he didn't do very well in Iowa. And the reason that many are saying is because he just hasn't got people fired up. You've got a country where you don't have compulsory voting, so you do need to get people fired up to go out and vote. What we've seen is the smaller candidate, Pete Buttigieg, really pull ahead. He does seem to have got that support from the smaller candidates like Amy Klobuchar, Andrew Yang, Tom Steyer, and even Joe Biden's supporters, when they weren't viable, did seem to go towards Pete Buttigieg. That's a reaction for many against what seem as the extreme left-wing policies of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders as well. But from speaking to the Republicans that I was speaking to in the United States, you definitely get a sense that many of them really are happy with Donald Trump. He's pushed this rhetoric of being the one who's the strong economic operator. And many of the people I spoke to were of that in mind. They said that the economy's going well, so why wouldn't they vote for him again?
It's always a battle over there of who you're picking, because most of the time you're facing off against an incumbent. You've got a challenger and an incumbent. And so you always have to try to tailor that opponent. But I think more so than ever against Donald Trump. He is so hard to pin down on things. He manages to get credit for things that he does and things that he doesn't really do, or that someone else has done, or that was set in train.
Or he just lies. I mean, the New York Times keeps a track of how many times he just outright lies. And there's nothing to attack anymore. It's such a scattergun approach. And so you have other people get down on one issue and it can completely unwind them. So the Democrats just don't know how to deal with it. And then you see Nancy Pelosi getting up and ripping the speech, and she gets criticism from one side of her supporters saying, don't sink to his level. Other supporters say, get on board. But from what I've seen, it's very early days, but Donald Trump certainly has a lot of momentum behind him. Everyone who voted for him last time seems excited to vote for him again. And he does seem like he's brought some people into the fold, especially with this kind of change of rhetoric we've seen in America, that you're more open to being anti-immigrant and pro-wall. A lot of people who felt like that and previously felt like they couldn't air those views in public now feel like they really have air to talk about these issues, and will probably vote for him too.
And if Sanders gets up, I love making predictions that hit the wall, so if Sanders gets up, no chance at all of winning. So you can
I'll hold you to
note
that.
the time of day. I just